Well, hello there and welcome back to another installment of Rapid Licks. Alright, so today's Rapid Lick is, it's an interesting one. This is a kind of a hybrid picking thing. Anyway, so I put this lick together actually, oddly enough, after watching an Anderton's gear review. And one of the presenters on Anderton's, Rob Chapman, who you guys are probably familiar with, he's the founder of Chapman Guitars. He's also been in quite a few bands. Anyway, not important. He does a lot of reviews for them, and while he was demoing a guitar, he was just noodling around, and he played this snippet of something that caught my ear, and I thought, hey, that sounds really cool. And it was a hybrid picking lick, so I thought, man, you know what I could do? I could take that lick, turn it into a sequence, and make a lesson out of it. So, yeah, as per usual with this channel, that's what we've gone and done. Alright, so for today's lesson, I'm going to be doing this in drop D, so grab a guitar and drop that string down to D. And also we're going to do this, also we're going to do this in D minor. That's what I based this entire pattern around. So for those of you who've forgotten what D minor sounds like, good? Perfect. Okay, now I did mention that this lick was going to be in D minor, and that's kind of why I dropped myself down here to drop D, just so I'd have a bit of a drone when I was going through it. You don't necessarily need to do this. I just kind of like the sound of it. Worked out well for my purposes, so feel free to do whatever you like. You could leave it in standard tune and just play along doing the hybrid picking piece, and that's that. Anyway, so to start things off, like I said, we're in basically D minor, so just think of the D minor scale for all of this stuff that we're going to be doing here. And what you're going to do is to start is you're going to pick on your D string, like so. Take your index finger, hammer on to the 12th fret on the D string. So it's like this. So here's the hybrid picking part. After you've done this, use your ring finger, grab the G string there on the 14th fret, and then I'm using my middle finger here, and I'm just plucking that string like that. So that's the hybrid piece. Sounds like that. Right? With me? Okay. So you go like that. Now we're thinking D minor, so I'm just going to run up the scale here to the 15th fret here on the D string, and I'm going to basically repeat what I just did here. So now I'm going to go open on the D string again. Hammer on to the 15th fret on the D string, and then because we're in D minor, I'm going to grab the next thing that makes sense on the scale, which would be right here. So I'm going to again hybrid pick right there on the G string on the 17th fret. So far here's what we got. Good. Alright, now that you've got that section done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to exactly where we started and play that one more time. Alright, and that concludes the hybrid picking portion. So after you finish that last hammer on out of nowhere and then the hybrid pick, what I want you to do is basically pick the A string open like that, hammer on to the 12, hammer on to the 13, so it'll look like this. Okay, once you finish that, come down to the 12th fret on your D string, pick that once, like so. Now I'm doing that with a downstroke. And then come back up here and I want you to pick on the A string, 13, 12, 13. And the way I'm picking this is up stroke, downstroke, upstroke. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I do the sequence again, I want to pluck with the downstroke that D string again. Alright, so all up to this point, here's what we got. With me? Good. Alright, so for the next position, again, we're just thinking regular, good old-fashioned D minor here. We're just going to jump down to the next logical space where this sequence will continue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play an open D string, hammer on to the 10, hybrid pick on the 12 of the G string, so it'll be like this. Right? Then I'm going to jump up to where we were in the first position, and I'm going to play open on the D string, hammer on to 12, and then hybrid pick the 14th on the G string. After that, of course, we're going to play that open D string again. Hammer on to the 10, hybrid pick the 12th fret, and we're going to be doing the same thing we did here, except now instead of doing it where we just did it up here, we're going to do it lower. So we're going to play on the A string open, hammer on to 10, hammer on to 12. So we got this, like so. Jump down to the D string again and pick your 10th fret, and then up, down, up on the 12, 10, 12 of the D string. And that concludes this section of it. So all together up to this point, here's what we got, people. All right, now you may have guessed this. We're gonna do the exact same thing, but we're gonna start lower in the scale. So what I want you to do, pick an open D string, hammer on right there to the 8th fret, and then for your hybrid pick, you're going to jump on the G string and pluck the 10th fret. So this is what we got. And then, that's right, we're going to borrow the same piece from the last pattern we just did. So jump back up here and play the open on the D string, hammer on to the 10, hybrid pick on the 12 of the G string, and then of course back down to what you did the first time around. So open D string again, hammer on to the 8, pluck the 10th, and then of course we do the same thing that we did up here. So open A string, hammer on to the 8, hammer on to the 10, pluck the 8th fret on the D string, and then up, down, up on the A string on the 10th, on the 8th, on the 10th, and that concludes that piece. All right, so the last section here is the only piece which is a little bit different than the normal scale pattern kind of movement we're doing here. And I just did this because this sounds nice to my ears, so feel free to change this any which way you like. Just, I kind of like it, sounds neat, but do what you want. So for the last section, instead of following this down with the scale, we're actually going to go all the way down here, and we're going to play the D string open, hammer on to the 5, pluck on the G string, the 7, then jump all the way up here back to where we were in the last position and pluck the D string open, hammer on out of nowhere to the 8, hybrid pick right there on the G string on the 10th fret, and then pick the D string open again, hammer on to the 7 on the D, hybrid pick the 9th fret on the G string, and then for our little kind of finishing fill thing here, pick the A string open once, hammer on to the 7th fret of the A string, hammer on to the 8th fret of the A string, pluck right here down on the 7th fret of the D string, and then down, up, down on the A string, 8, 7, 8, and you're done. That's the whole sequence. Now, when you listen to this on the intro jam there, basically I just took this pattern and I repeated it 2 times. So make sure you do that, or do it however many times you like. Okay, good. So let's play through this sequence 2 times together, slowly. All right, let's see if we can increase the cadence a little bit here, people. Thank you. All right, so there you have it. That's my weird hybrid picking, Rob Chapman inspired fancy lick thing. It's, I don't know, I find it sounds kind of interesting. It's it's got a certain quality that kind of hits you in the ear. Yeah, anyway, play around with it. Don't necessarily just do this in, D minor with the drop D tuning. Feel free to do this wherever you want and whatever tuning you want. It's just a really nice, easy hybrid picking pattern, kind of a nice introduction to how to start using your fingers with some plucking. So yeah, give it a shot and see if it works out for you. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the lick and enjoyed the content, please make sure you like and subscribe. That really helps the channel grow. And yeah, if you have any ideas or there's any techniques you'd like to see me try and cover, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll see if I can get around to that. But that's it. That's all I've got for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed, and just keep on shredding and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.